like my mind immediately goes to this came out like the exact same time as $3 bill, y'all.
Dude, if I keep drinking this Dubby stuff, I'm gonna fly through the screen.
It's freaking good though, right?
I'm just kidding.
Dude, I was pissed off, honestly. Um like I ran I'm almost out of this is my second tub of the hydration blend, the pine berry splash one.
Yeah.
Again, really good, and it's
Yeah.
almost gone. So I'm like, okay, I gotta buy some more. And then they're having a sale right now. I think it's like 30% off for everybody. I'm like, sweet, plus you get our discount if you put in We Were Loud Ones.
Yeah.
And so
Nothing
please
like
do
an
that.
ad right up front.
That's right. Boom, here you go. But again, I'm telling you, dude, it's worth it. Like my eyes twitching, like you gotta
Yeah.
get some.
Yeah.
Dan's gonna jump through
Well,
his screen because he's
I
freaking
mean,
out. But
listen,
what pissed me out though, like what I was gonna say is that it's this one is all gone. They're sold out.
oh, no kidding.
So I'm like, gosh, no, I thought they were gonna have like an endless supply of this. Like I need it. I need it. Once it touches your lips, this is so good.
Right, right.
So
Yeah. And we're not gonna tell you guys to go buy something that's garbage,
amen.
and that we don't use and
Yep.
anything like that. So that's not what this is about. We want to try and hook you guys up with something cool. So if you're
Absolutely.
into it, definitely check it out. If not, that's totally cool too.
Yep.
But yeah, it's no jitters, but it's an energy drink.
It is an energy drink. Yes, for sure.
Anyways,
Gets
deep
blood
breath,
flowing. That's
deep
right.
breaths.
Deep.
Yeah.
Oh
We'll get
man.
through this together. So,
That's right.
another piece of kind of, I don't want to call it housekeeping because I think that kind of diminishes what this is, but recently we launched the official Downshift YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is every week we're going to put out another one of the videos that were on the DVD just to put them out there.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why we never did it, but they never made it to YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I think, dude, I think we all just kind of went on our way, and
I don't think YouTube was that
YouTube
huge of a
didn't.
thing
YouTube
at the
didn't. Yeah,
time.
I think it was like oh 08. I think was when YouTube really like took off, right?
Yeah, this would have been 05, 06. So, but no, we felt it was time to do that.
Yeah, oh 05, I guess February. But again, February
Yeah.
of 05. But again, it wasn't anything until
Right.
a few years later. But either way,
Yeah.
but it was
So,
time. It was definitely time, and I think it was just one of those things, Dan, that it was like again, you had your own thing going on. I mean, you after Downshift started Black on High, and it's just every member of the band went with their own,
yeah.
just kind of their own ways and stuff, and I started working with a band in Cleveland called 13 Layers of Sin, and it's just everybody. I think everybody was really proud of what we did in Downshift, but it was just like one of those things where it's like you just get so focused on what you're in right now, and we're always in that process of evolution, and and then all of a sudden it was just one day where you just like turn around like, man, what the hell, like how come we never did this? It's like it's weird, but
Yeah.
I think the cool thing is that there was some people were putting some of our stuff out there on YouTube, and there's definitely a response, and I was like, man, I think I remember it was a few months ago. I like shared it with them, like, dude, did you see this? People are putting our stuff up. It's like this is kind of cool, and people are talking about it. I was like, well, crap. I mean, we should do it ourselves, and
Yeah.
so I think it was a
Maybe
good
they're all
idea.
in one
Yep.
place.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
20 years coming, but we
Mhm.
finally got our own YouTube channel for our Downshift stuff. So
Yeah.
but
So we'll link it everywhere. So
yep.
So yeah, go subscribe and check it out. We'll
Yeah, and maybe one day
put
we'll
some more
put
of
some new maybe we'll put some new Downshift stuff out there.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. We'll see. Anyways.
So go check that out. Like,
Yep.
subscribe, all that good stuff.
Yeah, see how we got here today. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
and see some 20-year-old videos that were, very proud of everything we put out. But I will say they look 20 years old.
Right.
It's like when you're using the
we
materials.
look 20 years younger too.
Yes, we were 20 years younger when you're using the materials before you at the time. It's like, and you don't have $1 million to spend on each video. It's but some of those videos, they're just fun. I mean, it's just fun stuff, but either way.
Yeah.
So
good times. Good times.
Good times.
So
enough of
Well,
promoting ourselves today.
coming back into current day, present day. Um, how excited are you for the new Power Man tour?
Oh, dude. I I am so excited. Like I cannot believe how many bands are coming out right now saying they're going on tour, from
Mhm.
this movement from the new metal days, and just coming
Yeah.
back and so and so's doing a new record and so and so's going on tour and stuff like that. And I'm
Hmm.
like, freaking sign me up. Let's go.
Yeah.
Like I was at the point, like say 2 years ago, where I was like, okay, I just want to see these three bands play at some point in my life, and then I'm probably done seeing live shows again because I'm just getting old. I'm just getting tired of it. It's just loud, and I'm like I'm spending a lot of money for to come home and be like, oh, it hurts. Like why was
Right.
I
Right.
standing
Yeah.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
concrete? Got a foot to the face. What am I doing? I got to work tomorrow. I was
Yeah.
just getting to that point, but now I'm like, oh, let's go. Here we go. All these freaking bands are coming back and they're doing it.
Mm.
So yeah, Power Man 5000 saying that they're going on tour. I was like, I will be there.
Yeah.
Come on through, baby.
Yeah.
Get my
Nowhere
money.
near here. Nowhere near
I
here.
know. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think the
Actually, that's not
closest is
true.
like Dubuque, Iowa or something like
Dubuque,
that.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, man,
Yeah.
that's
Hello.
not even a B market. What's in Dubuque?
I know. I
I
don't
mean, I guess
know.
people say that about Omaha all the time, so
Yeah,
that's
but I
fair.
think again, just understanding how I mean how shows are put together and everything. It's like
Yeah.
you're looking for a spot, somebody's looking to book you. A
Yeah.
guy, so a couple
Agent
phone
got you in
calls.
there. There you are.
There you go. Five
Yeah.
grand, sure, I'll do it. There you
Sure.
are. So
I think they
um
got, I think Adima's with them on a
Edema,
handful of
yep,
shows.
yep, yep.
And I just saw them back with Spineshank.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were good.
Hell yeah, dude. Now
Yeah, it was wild hearing some of those tunes.
did they have what's his face?
No, the original singer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought
Hmm.
that he was gone. He
Yeah,
comes back for a couple of minutes and he jets again.
yeah. I don't know if he's going to do this tour or not.
Yeah.
He wasn't there for
Who's their
Spineshank Union Underground.
yeah, who's their current singer?
He's the guitar player.
Oh, really?
I do not recall his name. I
Yeah, Mark
apologize, sir.
Chavez is who I was thinking of, but
Yeah, the I don't want to say gigantic. He's an incredibly tall man.
incredibly
Was singing
tall
for him.
man.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I want to see who's doing vocals. So, their Wikipedia page is all whacked out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so it's got to be Tim. Oh man, my eyes suck. It Tim Rucky, I'm gonna say. Um, the
Yeah.
I don't want to say what. Yeah, Tim Flucky, Tim Flucky, Fluckey. That's a fun name, dude.
Man.
That is fun. That's why I was like, man, my eyes aren't looking very good. And I like scroll up. I'm like, there it is.
There's an
Now it's a
L
little
there,
bit.
right?
There's an L. Yep. Oh, that's freaking awesome. Not picking on you, bro. That's a cool freaking name. I would freaking ride that in the
He
sunset.
he
That is
does
super
well.
fun.
He does good,
Yep.
you know.
That's awesome. But either way,
So
yeah, I mean,
I
well,
think it's
that's
the
the
rest of the
thing.
original guys though.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Because so he's in it, and then Dave DeRue, so he's bass and backing vocals,
Hmm.
and then Chris Coles, he's the drums. So I mean, they have three members that have been in it since day one, and
Yeah.
that's you don't see that anymore. And to be around since
It's
2000,
yeah.
good on them to
You
have
know,
some of the original members.
20, 25 years. That's a long time. People,
Yeah.
you know, have lives and,
Yep.
and not everybody, not everybody continues in music either. So, some of these bands, have people that, they went off and did something else,
Correct.
and it's like, yeah, they're not going to come back to that. But
Yeah.
if somebody wants to go out and tour it, cool,
Yep.
you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fun. Adima's a fun band, dude.
yeah,
I remember seeing them. I'm trying to remember who the heck they were with. I think it was Disturbed. First time I saw them, it was just with
sure.
Disturbed and Drowning Pool.
Mm.
And gosh, they were just kids, man. They were so freaking young. And
Wasn't,
they were just popping off.
yeah,
That I can't remember the name of that song that they got
that's
so big
the
off
way you
of.
like it
There you go, whatever it
was a
was,
big
yeah.
one.
And it was gosh, it was just on fire at the time. And I just remember they were, I think they opened and they just got the crowd into it, man. It was so much fun. And then
Yeah.
like Mark Chavez, he was like they like stopped in between songs and he said, "Hey, we do this thing where we go on our tour and we call it the what was it? The New Titty City Committee." So it was like house lights on. We want to see everybody, all these women expose
Pulling a
themselves,
Tommy
going there.
Lee.
Yes,
Pulling a
pulling a
Tommy
Tommy
Lee.
Lee. Yep. And so I'm not saying I promote that, but I'm just saying it was
Well,
funny. And I laughed because I was like, that's a funny name.
yeah.
So, but there was a lot of
So,
women who took part in it, I will
oh,
say.
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure.
But
So if I remember correctly, is his name Mark, the singer,
yeah,
the
Mark
old singer,
Chavez.
the
Yep.
original singer?
Yep.
Was he related to Jonathan Davis?
Yes.
Am I
So they're
remembering
actually
that
half
correctly?
brothers. Yep.
Okay, that was it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big deal. We talked about on our last episode, talking about mystery of things, and that was like definitely one of the mystery slash lore of everything. But yeah, he's half brother to Jonathan Davis.
Is he? Because Jonathan was on one of the songs, wasn't he?
Yes, that was
Wasn't
the
that how that
song
worked?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, I
that's what I thought.
it
Man, he
sucks that you
popped up
can't.
in a bunch of places back then.
Yeah, he
He
was
must
all
have
over
been
the
hanging
place.
out at a studio.
Well, that's the thing. They all freaking, Corn and all those guys. They
'Cause
all
I think
knew.
he was on a Dead Z song. He was.
Yes,
Um, the Key to Gramercy Park.
yeah, fun stuff. Yeah, I'm trying
Hmm.
to remember. That's gonna bug me. I can't. Is that what the name of that song was called?
What, the way you like it?
Yeah, was that what it was?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Either
pretty
way,
sure.
it's a fun song though. It's good. It's catchy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were kind of, you know, right up the middle, hard rock, new metal.
Oh man, I loved them though.
You
I
know,
still do. I was
they're
talking
fun.
about this about like 6 months ago with somebody, and I was like, "You never heard of Edema?" And they're like, "No." I'm like, "You got to watch this." So I sent over the video, and they're like, "Holy crap, this is really good." I'm like, "Told you, it's good stuff."
Yep.
I thought it was the song I'm remembering. Yeah, the way you like it. Yep. Because I typed in, I was like, all I remember is "Get Inside You." That's all I remember,
Mm,
and so that's what I thought it was called. But you're right, it's called "The Way You Like It." So,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
his
It was a fun one.
it's cool because like he did sound a lot like Jonathan though,
Hmm.
and it was very easy to interwove Jonathan's
The
backing
two of
vocals
them.
into it. Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
But
for
that is
sure.
kind of neat though, how they were able
Yeah.
to do that. So, but again, I think I ended up like that was one of the reasons that Mark couldn't handle what they were doing because I think he was just like always in that shadow and he just got
Well,
pissed off.
yeah. I mean, I get it, but I mean, that was probably something you should have made peace with before you got into it.
Agreed. Because I bet
Because
you
by
he
that
freaking
point,
I
Corn
bet
was
he
huge.
loved using it. And then once they got started getting a name for themselves, it
Hmm.
was like, okay, I'll take it from here. And everybody's like, no, 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 you won't. We,
It's not how
we
this works.
yeah, we like your brother. It's like, well, yeah, but not on me. It's like, no, 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 no.
Right.
You rode in here in this truck. You're gonna keep riding that truck. So,
Exactly.
but either way, whatever.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Power Man in 25 years.
I've never seen them. So, like as I said, they come around here. I'm going.
They used to come around a lot on Mega Kung Fu Radio.
Yeah,
Um, they were part of like there was a small group of bands that were here like every couple
yeah,
weeks for some
yeah.
reason. It was Power Man, Deftones, Incubus, and I'm forgetting one, but it doesn't matter. But they were Seven Dust.
Oh yeah,
And they were
Seven
just
S
they
there
were
all the time.
maybe 2 weeks is a little
Yeah.
too
3.
much, but it like once a month it felt
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
there was always some variation of that bill because Omaha is dead center in the middle of the country, right
Yep.
off the interstate. If you had a Monday off and you needed gas money, you were stopping here.
Right.
If you were passing through, you were stopping. Um, and they would always sell tickets.
Yep.
But I just remember kind of falling in love with that record, and then they came out with Tonight the Stars Revolt,
Yes.
and I was kind of like, is this the same band?
Yeah.
I
So
don't remember.
different.
What happened here? Not that it was bad because it wasn't.
No,
I
it's
mean,
real
it was
good.
definitely more refined,
Yep.
we'll say. Um, but
And I
it was
think they
nothing
did
like
that.
Mega Kung Fu Radio.
If I recall, and again, this old brain or whatever, but I think they recorded that album twice. If I recall, I'd have to look that
Mhm.
up, but I'm pretty certain that they recorded that album and then they're gonna drop it, and it was like supposed to come out in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then Spider was like, "I don't like this. This isn't what we were trying to do." And so they halted the launch
That
of the
sounds
CD,
familiar.
and then they're like, "We're going to redo this," and then they did. And I think that
Same
was at
label.
I think
Label
so.
paid for it twice.
I think so. I think so. I
Well, I
have to.
mean, hey, if they had enough in their advance left over,
Yep.
more power to you.
More
Record it twice. We don't
power.
care.
More power to you.
More power man to you.
Yeah.
So stupid. Sorry.
So stupid. Sorry. That's so funny. Um,
Yeah, but I just remember, I'm like, and it was kind of a thing at the time, a lot of these bands that had done a record or had a EP demo kind of thing, and it sounded one way, then they get signed to a bigger label, and then they kind of tweak it, to be a little bit more current.
yeah.
And then it's kind of like, oh, what happened?
Right.
Again, not that it was bad because it wasn't. Then it landed on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and it was off to the races. Um, but I always liked Mega Kung Fu Radio better.
Oh yeah.
Um, and then throughout time, like he'll hit the bullseye every once in a while on a song.
Right.
Like there were some good ones on later records, but it was never like a whole record like that. That was just like, yep. But
Yeah. Yeah. So it says here, it says, yes, Powerman 5000 did pull one of their albums shortly before its scheduled release in order to rework it. The album in question was Anyone for Doomsday, which was slated for August 28th, 2001 release.
that was the
Uh,
next one.
yeah, on August 14th, 2001, it was publicly reported that the release and tour were postponed so that the band could record additional new material. According to multiple sources, frontman Spider One decided the album sounded too much like their previous work, Tonight the Stars Revolt, and wanted a fresh direction, so the original version of Anyone for Doomsday was shelved. Record was later made available via the band's own label and online, but it never saw the full major label release as originally planned. So yeah, so sorry, I was an album off, but
So he kind of got screwed on it.
yep, big time.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds about right.
that sounds about right. Yeah,
What band doesn't get screwed some way,
I,
shape, or form?
everybody does, man.
It's part of the business model.
Yep, it sure is,
Yeah.
and that's actually kind of bringing us to one of the bands we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Speaking of
which,
rough starts, um, wanted to kind of chat through Hed PE
yeah,
and the first record that they put out on Jive, the self-titled record, because there's a lot of things happened to them, decisions that were made that were just kind of,
right,
I don't know, wrong, bad.
yeah,
And they've come out and said that. So I mean, it's not
yeah,
like, they don't know now. Like hindsight's always
exactly,
2020, but they were part of that, LA scene. And they had released an EP called Church of Realities, and which had, I think, some of the songs that ended up on the major label release. Um, but being around LA, playing around, a lot of label interest from multiple labels, and they actually had kind of a bidding war going on, which
sure,
you're onto something
yeah,
if multiple labels are, that dollar figure's ticking up, and people are still
absolutely,
fighting for you. Um, but they say they were convinced by their management to sign with Jive.
oh
And
sure,
if folks aren't familiar with Jive, that was primarily a hip hop label, if I
yes,
remember correctly. And Hed PE was more. I mean, it was new metal. I mean,
sure,
I consider it a new metal classic.
totally, yeah,
It has all of those like every
yeah,
characteristic of new metal. This album checks that box.
yep,
Um, and so Jive didn't have a whole lot of experience with that. And so they didn't really know how to market it. They didn't know what to do with it really. So they didn't really know, yeah, what they had.
sure,
Um, which unfortunate,
yeah,
but we got a really good record out of it.
absolutely,
You know, Um, Todd Ray, was the producer on it, and he had worked with Korn and Snot and Helmet and bands like that. But they recorded at a place called Longview Farm Studios, which Seven Dust has done a lot of work there. Snot recorded the first record there. Stain has recorded there, and I think it's right outside of Boston. And it's one of those kind of compound type studios where it's like you have lodging for people, you have, the studio, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. So it's all like a big kind of
Yeah.
creative vibe. And if memory serves, I think Seven Dust did Home there,
Oh, cool.
which for me is one of my favorite Seven Dust
Yeah.
records.
Agreed.
And as I'm looking at this, kind of compound studio, um, and thinking about, the Hed PE thing, Home and, Get Some, I'm like, okay, I can hear it. I can hear the studio characteristics in there. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yep.
Whether it's the way a guitar is recorded, like the tones are different, but the way it's recorded, you can kind of start to hear some similarities. I'm getting way into the weeds on it, but I think you get the
Yep.
idea. Like
Yep.
at the time, the studio mattered and it gave a certain characteristic to your music. And so the studio you chose was almost as important as the producer you chose.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, and you can start to hear that in some
Yeah.
of these records. I think if memory serves, like Aerosmith and all of these like massive classic bands recorded there, like it was a big deal, you know,
Sure.
and it had I think it has a very warm kind of sound, almost
Agreed.
like almost like an honest sound, if that makes sense,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, because I went back and, once I started looking into the studio, I went back and I listened to all of those records and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I get a very like just honest kind of recording,
Yeah.
whether that's because I don't know what kind of, board they were using or what gear was going on, but the room, you know, and, and I've said it before, but it mattered. It
Sure.
did. And I think it still matters, but it's way down on the list of priorities these days. But yeah, so that's where they did the record. Was released on August 12th, 97, which was just in time for the now infamous and elusive Korn CD sampler that came
Yep.
with Follow the Leader, that we did an episode on a while back,
Yep.
which definitely helped. Well, I guess it helped out Jive because apparently Jive didn't know what to do with it,
Right. Exactly.
you know? So, um, and of course, and this is probably a whole nother conversation, but, kind of, I don't want to say it started the trend of hidden tracks,
Sure.
but,
Yeah.
it kind of
Yeah.
fed into that.
Yeah.
Because, do you remember like the first time you discovered a hidden track
I
on a CD? You're like, oh my God, what is happening?
yes. I'm trying
Why
to
is the
remember.
song not over with? And then
Right.
you're
I'm
fast
trying.
forwarding for like 20 minutes.
Right. I'm trying to remember what the first one was that I ever did that to. But yeah, I remember feeling like that. Like it was like you found the toy in the cereal box. Like, oh, right.
Yeah.
But
And then it became a thing. Everybody
yeah,
started doing it,
correct. We did it.
and
Yep.
we did it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, I get it. It was
Yeah.
a fun little Easter egg, maybe, if you will.
Yeah.
Um, but and I couldn't think of anyone before that one.
I'm trying to remember.
So, but then
Did
again, I don't know release dates on everything. So
Yeah. I feel like, well, I know, oh man, dude, you're making me think way far back. I'm trying to remember, did Life is Peachy have a hidden track on it? Because
Oh dear.
I feel like it did. Let me check. I gotta Google
It
this.
may have. There was one on Around the Fur, wasn't there? It's weird
Ooh,
because now, like with Spotify, they
yes,
separated those out.
I know.
So I believe there was one on Around the Fur,
You're probably
which
right.
came out right around the same time, I believe,
Yeah.
as Hed PE. But what kind of did it for Hed PE, I think, and he remains probably one of my favorite DJs,
Oh,
Sansu,
sure.
um, DJ Product.
Yeah. Yep.
He
Yep.
was an absolute trip to watch.
Yes.
Now, mind you, like these tours on this record, this was before Slipknot kind of made it. So, Sid was kind of, you know,
Yep.
wasn't necessarily as notorious as he is today.
Right.
But Product he would take like an angle grinder and grind like metal off the side of his DJ stand so sparks would fly everywhere.
Yeah.
Some people borrowed that in later years, but that was the first time I'd ever seen anybody do that. And I remember the first time I saw them, I was kind of standing side stage at the venue, and I'm like, oh my god, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And I had longer hair at the time, so I'm like, what's in my hair? Like, what is this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I was a kid, but I figured it out eventually.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm like, man, that was cool. And he would
Yeah.
do like he just had it down. He did.
Yeah.
So it really bummed me out when he left the band. I don't know the um, specifics of his exit, but I was like, oh, no more DJ Product. Boo. And
Yeah.
I think he every once in a while he'll jump on with them for a couple shows.
That's fun.
Here and there when they're on the West Coast, because Hed PE still tours like crazy.
Oh yeah, they do.
They are out all the time.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I just remember that specifically watching Product like that.
That's fun.
Cool.
Yeah, do you think he actually started that? I mean, maybe in the new metal days, but I think
got inspired
Wasp,
somewhere.
I was gonna say Wasp.
Oh yeah, Blackie would do it.
Yeah, Blackie would do it. Didn't he do it?
He had it on the old saw blade cod piece thing that he would wear. How ridiculous was that thing?
Yeah.
Good God. But hey, shock rock,
That's right. Yeah, that's what I remember. Just Blackie would say that he's like, I wish we could actually write some good songs so we didn't have to do all this stupid gimmicky crap.
Agreed. I was never a huge Wasp
fan.
I mean, they had one song that I sort of liked. It was called Wild Child.
Yep.
But outside of that, I'm like, not for me.
Yep.
To
come back though, I did look it up while you're talking here. So Korn did have a hidden track on Life is Peachy, and it was a acapella version of Twist. And that's what I was thinking.
Really?
Yes. And so there's probably ones that came out before, but that was like the one specifically that popped in my head. Here's our fun, where does this take you? Moment here real quick. So with Life is Peachy, I was in college, and I'll just say I was doing college extracurricular activities after class one day with my buddy Brent. And we were just listening to Life is Peachy, just the two of us having a good time, and he was mimicking Jonathan Davis doing the Twist thing. And it was, dude, we laughed.
Spectacular.
I felt like I laughed for 45 minutes straight, and it was just one of those things, like we were just freaking, just riding it. And there was that gap, and all of a sudden it started going. I'm like, what the heck, and I was already not in the right mindset.
Right.
And I just remember that going off, and I was like, what the heck? There's like a freaking bonus track, and I'd never heard it. And I'd listened to Life is Peachy a whole bunch before that, and I had no idea that it was on there. And I just remember feeling like that, like I said, finding the toy in the cereal, but either way, just thought I'd tell that little story. It was fun.
No, that's awesome. I did not know that.
Yep.
Or had long forgotten about it. I do remember, kind of since we're talking about the, where does it take you? I do remember, like, so mid to late 90s, in at least in my orbit, like everybody had subs in their car.
Oh, yes.
Subwoofers in their car. And if you've never heard Tired of Sleep
with
subs, like 212s in a car,
yes,
you're missing out, because that was amazing. Out of my friend group at the time, I would venture to say the majority of us blew subs to that song.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because it was so bass heavy. And I don't know if you want to watch me struggle through learning that song. That video exists on the channel. So, yeah, I just remember that, and we would just drive around smoking cigarettes, listening to that song with subs on, and this record just in general is really good for that. So I mean, if you have the
Well,
capability to
yes.
listen to this record with in a car with subs, do it.
I was gonna say,
Crank it.
I was actually, so I have like a really nice Bose speaker that I listen
Mm.
to, and I was actually using it tonight. I was painting at my house and stuff,
Mm.
and that song came on,
Mhm.
and like I had to run over and turn it down really quick because I thought I was gonna blow a speaker. It was like rattling and crap. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, not
Yeah.
this speaker, please. But it's funny that
Yep.
you brought that up because I was like, I know exactly what song you're talking about.
hmm
That's
I
funny.
love that song. It's probably my favorite
It's
song
a
on the record.
great
I
song,
mean,
dude.
Serpent Boy was a great song. Like
Yep,
every song, like it's a record you can listen to from start to finish.
100%.
And I think that at least in the early days of new metal, when everybody was still kind of on their, you know, we sound like nothing else out there, so we're
Correct.
just gonna call it new metal because we don't know what else to do with it.
Right.
Um, you know, I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that. I totally lost that train of thought. But it's it's definitely. I think a lot of those records were that way. Mid
Sure.
to late '90s records.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a bad song on it. When
No.
you start to get into the 2000s, it's like, okay, people are trying to swing for the fence. They're, you
Yeah.
know, anyway, um, here nor there. But kind of, well, actually, let's do this before we get into the other part. What's your guess on sales?
Oh
How
man.
well do you think it did? CDs like physical, like physical.
Yeah, physical sales.
Hmm
Man, that's tough, man. I'm gonna say 120,000.
Probably close. It's 100 plus. There were
Okay.
no exact figures because there's a lot of legal stuff
Sure.
surrounding this
Yeah.
particular record and the one following
Yeah.
with Jive because um, what happens, and I think we've talked about this before, but a label will advance you money to do a record and to pay for this, that, and the other thing, right? But they have to recoup that money.
Right.
And if they don't recoup that money, then that debt follows you into the next record cycle. And that's what happened. So they didn't recoup their advance on the first one
Sure.
because Jive didn't really know what was going on and how to do this. So that debt carried over into the next record, Broke,
Yeah.
which also did not recoup their advance,
Yep.
and so on and so forth. So when that happens and you leave that label, you're still contractually obligated to that debt, no matter where you go.
Right.
Um, but what that also does is that kind of poisons you in the
Yeah.
industry.
Yep.
So so they're on Jive, right? They're in debt. There's no figures out there that are readily available. I shudder to think it's probably in seven figures. Um, but what that does is that's an indicator of risk for other labels.
Right.
So, these major labels that's like, okay, well, we're looking for an investment, where we can sink in a couple million on an artist and,
Yep.
you know, fairly certain we're going to make that back. Well, if you come into another label with seven figures in debt, they're going to kind of think twice.
Right.
And that's what happened. So Hed PE, since leaving Jive, has been on independent labels because they can't go to another major,
Yeah.
which is too bad.
That's way too bad.
So, what they've done is they've started to re-record some of this material. And it's, have you heard it? Have you heard any? I think they redid Bartender off of Broke.
Yes. Yep.
And it's like, okay, when you spend 20 years listening to a certain version of the
You're right.
song,
Agreed.
it's just not the same,
Hmm.
And we've talked about this before too, doing, as a vocalist and consistently singing and doing things, it's like your voice is going to
Yeah, I
it's
get a
going
little
to
worn
get some
out.
wear on it.
Yep.
And that's what happened with Jared.
Yeah.
And it on the re-recording, it sounds very deep,
Yeah. Yep.
not that it was bad because it wasn't, it was fun. But if
Right.
I had to choose one, unfortunately, I'm going back to the album,
Yeah.
you know, but I get why they did it,
Sure. Oh, totally. Totally.
you know, but, and he's mentioned, Jive and in a number of interviews recently too.
Oh,
So I
really?
don't know what's going on there. I think they've locked up some things. I think they're limited um, to what they can do with that material.
Sure. Well,
Um,
I really wonder how much they still owe.
yeah, they don't really say. Jive was actually quote retired back in
Right.
2011, um, but Sony Music Legacy is managing everything. So and then they moved all the artists over to RCA.
Yeah.
But so Jive itself doesn't exist. Well, when they say retired, it's just like it's still there, but they don't use it for anything.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, so I'm sure they were hoping that that debt would just go away.
Yeah.
But they're probably keeping Jive technically breathing because it's owed money.
Sure.
But I mean, how do you
Well, and
pay
you
that
wonder
back?
if they've done that with other bands too, or other
I'm sure
groups
they
or
have.
whatever. Yep.
I'm
So
absolutely sure that it happens more frequently than folks would think,
sure.
where an artist doesn't recoup and they carry that debt to the next record.
Right.
Um, and really, I think the only thing to do would be, assuming that they were smart enough to form an LLC on it, is to claim
Correct.
bankruptcy
Yeah. Right.
and just shut it down. But they still tour it, so they can't do that.
Right.
So it's kind of
Well, and
it's a
then the
catch
other
22 for Jared,
correct, and then the other
which
thing
is
is
unfortunate.
right. It is unfortunate. And then the other thing is too is you got to think about, we've brought this up before that about 20% of bands who get signed actually get the actual record out, and
Right.
so some of those bands they get that advance, they go and record it, and then it never goes out, or like
Mm-hmm.
halfway through the recording they stop, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You have no way of paying that money back based on your material there. They
Mm-hmm.
own the rights of it. They're not never releasing it. So it's up to you to pay that back. And,
Yeah.
better go back to school or something, and it's,
I
it's
mean,
like,
there's people out there that, in the music industry, artists who they will tell you to your face, signing a record deal is the worst decision you could
yep,
possibly make.
yep.
And
Especially now.
oftentimes they're right.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Because when a label signs you, they own you.
yep,
They own your work. And if they don't want to put it out, they're not going to. They can also not let you do anything. They can
yeah,
tie you up.
correct.
And they do that with a lot of people. So those bands that they sign and the record never comes out, they probably tie them up because they don't want them going to another label. They can
Right,
ask to be released, but if they think that there's potential viability later, then they're going to say no. We're gonna keep it, and we'll let you know what we're gonna do with it later.
right.
And then you're just kind of dead in the water.
Yeah,
What do you do as an artist at that point?
yep.
Start
Agreed.
something else.
Yeah,
Start another project. Start over.
yeah,
Unless there's some clause in there that will prevent you from doing anything else, which is entirely possible. You
absolutely.
know,
Read the fine
so
print. Yep.
yeah, exactly. And when you're a young, starving artist, do you got
Yeah,
an attorney?
that's what sucks.
You know what
Yeah,
I
it's
mean?
just it's crazy to think that and I remember where we when I was in my 20s and stuff, it was like you want that so bad, you're just thinking, gosh, if I could just get this record deal and stuff, and especially being from the Midwest and everything, it just didn't really happen. And it's like I guarantee you, if something would have plopped in front of us that was like sign here and here, and we're gonna pay you, you know, 30 cents for every single album. And we're like, well, I don't know. What does that mean? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, but here's the thing. If you sell, 4 million records, you're still going to make a ton of money. It's like, okay, let's do it. And the next thing you know, you sell 100,000
Yeah.
records and you still owe them $200,000,
Right.
it's like, oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
Yeah.
it's they're in the business for making money, and they are the ones putting up the
Mm-hmm.
risk, and so they want the high risk, high reward, and
That's true.
and
That's very true.
so one way or another, they're going to get their money, and they're
Yeah.
and they're not in the business for getting their money back. They're in the
Mm.
business for making money, and
Right.
so
And, kind of the difference between like a major and an independent
yeah,
is the amount of that advance.
correct.
So
Yep.
at an independent label, it's going to be drastically lower.
Yep.
So the kind of the risk profile drops too for the independent label. So that's why they would be willing to work with a band that is still technically in debt. So that's why Hed PE has kind of stayed on those independent labels
Yeah.
because they have to,
Yep.
but they're still able to. That's the other thing.
Yeah. It makes me wonder though. I have so many thoughts on the Hed PE that we're gonna talk about here, but it really makes me wonder because they've put out a lot of records. I mean, it's like what 12 or
Oh,
something
I
like
don't know.
that.
I lost count.
It's
Every
so
couple years
many.
there's a new record run for sure.
Yeah.
And they were on Suburban Noise for a long time.
Yep.
I
Oh
think they
man, it's more than
recently
12.
departed. I think they recently departed Suburban
They have
Noise.
18 albums out.
Mhm.
Jeez.
And
That's
you know,
crazy.
it's worth stating though that the lineup has changed
Oh, of
significantly
course. Yeah,
since
they've
leaving Jive.
yep. They've had a lot of different changes.
You
But it
know.
just that was the one that was the thing that made me think because again, I when I think of Head PE, I think of Head PE like 2008 prior. And no offense to anything new, but like I started looking, I was like, holy crap. Like after Insomnia, I'm like, I just completely lost touch with them and everything.
Hmm.
They've put out a lot of records since then, and good for
Hmm.
them, but I haven't listened to these, and
Right.
I feel bad and now, but I'm also like, okay, I want to check this out. But it makes you wonder though. That's what I was curious about is like how much is this is for them trying to recoup money to get out of those contracts.
Entirely possible.
Yeah,
Entirely possible. Um, but another thing Jared's really good at too is um, he's not trying to fit into a box with it either. So
right.
those
Yeah,
records tend to get very different
yeah.
from each other,
Good.
we'll say. But again, it's a different crew of musicians. I think he's the only original guy left. Um, which,
Yep.
hey, again, that's fine.
Sure.
Um, that's a pretty long career in music in general, but a long career in kind of that new metal space,
Yeah.
and yeah, but hey, more power to him. Keep it
Right.
alive. When you have, when it's your passion project, then you're gonna do what you
Absolutely.
got to do,
Well, that's the thing. When
and
you
you can
feel
tell he
like you're
loves it. So.
correct, I was gonna say you can tell he loves it, and that's the thing. It's like when it's your passion again, and you feel like you're called to do this or whatever. You don't care if it's 30 people or 30,000 people. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's just I just like to get up and play live, or I just like to create, and I don't care if one person buys it or whatever. And it's like same thing with like a podcast or whatever. It's like it could be you're only having 5 listeners, or you could have 5 million on every single episode you put out. It just depends, but you have to have that passion there, otherwise nothing exists. And
Yeah.
but that's the thing. Jared is just he's such a freaking good front man, dude. He's so fun.
Mm.
He's just, and I, that was one of the things I looked up was like some of their live, because again, we were talking about this before. I like to see what they do live and
But
stuff. And
live,
it's like,
yeah.
man, back in the day, dude, they were freaking wild.
Mm.
And so then I like looked them up and I was like, when was the latest show? And it was like something from like 2025, like a couple of months ago or whatever. I'm like, man, he's still live, man. He's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah.
He's still killing it. So good for
Hmm.
Jared, man. He's a good front man.
Definitely. And I respect him a lot for kind of the vision that he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
I've noticed on records and read in interviews and things where he's like, I want it to sound like this or like that. And it's like
Yeah.
he really kind of takes it from the abstract and really tries to, tell his guitar player or whomever that he's working with. It's like, okay, here's my idea, like what can we do and that kind of thing, right?
Right.
um, which is cool because again, if you stay within the box, then it's
Yeah.
going to get stale,
Yeah.
you know. But and I know we're kind of bouncing between these two things, the business and then the artist side of things, but that's kind of the duality of it,
Yep, it
you
sure
know.
is.
And if you can land in the middle, then you'll be okay.
Yep.
But if you ping to one side, you're taking some chances,
Yeah.
and some people are willing to do that, and some people aren't. If you take
Agreed.
your chance on the business side, you're going to sound more commercial and a lot like everything else that's out there right now. If you
Right.
ping to the artist side, you might get too weird for the people who are funding your project. So it's kind of like, oh man, you know, do we go straight up the middle?
Sure.
Probably the safest road,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's kind of when I say it's like right up the middle new metal, that's kind of what I'm referring to.
Agreed.
Like
Yeah.
there's some like commercial availability to it, but there's also kind of a little bit of artistic, kind of components to it and everything. So that's what I mean. And I know I say that a lot, but
No.
but then you have your trendsetters You know, they
Right.
come in and they're like, we don't care what you think about the business. This is
Correct.
what we're doing, and you signed it, so
So
here it
this,
is.
I'm so glad that you brought this up because this is actually one of the points that I was going to talk about,
Hmm.
and I was thinking about this tonight when I was listening to their self-titled, and I was like, man, because the thing that I've always thought about that record, and how do I put this here? So, like, my mind immediately goes to this came out like the exact same time as $3 Bill, y'all,
Hmm.
and these two records are very similar, and which is
Yeah.
interesting because they are on different sides of the United States when this came out,
Hmm.
likely didn't know each other whatsoever. And
Yeah.
even the album structures are almost exactly the same. And so I like looked
How do
this
you
up
mean?
later. Okay, so what I mean by is, okay, so they both well, they're obviously hip hop background within the record and everything.
Yeah.
Hard vocals, but get this, okay.
Mhm.
So the thing that like tripped me out was they both have exactly 13 tracks, which a lot of that doesn't mean anything. A lot of records have 13 tracks and stuff. But their last song on both albums is that freaking 15-20 minute freaking pothead song where it's just rolling in the back, and it's just trippiness and everything. And I'm like, dude, this you could put these two albums up almost side by side. And granted, they sound different, but again, I'm just like,
Conceptually,
you
yeah.
would conceptually, I'm just like, you would think that these guys were like friends and did this on purpose, or at least had a producer or something like that that
I
was
mean,
trying to do the same thing or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying, but the cool thing is that neither one of them, like try to copy the other. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Because neither was out yet.
Right, exactly. I think Limp Bizkit came out like in July of '97, and then Hed PE was August of '97, and so they just did this naturally, which was really cool. But my point to all this though as well is that Hed PE though stayed Hed PE. And I mean that in no disrespectful way for either band, but Limp Bizkit changed. You know,
Yeah,
they,
they
they
pinged to the other side.
exactly.
They went
And
more commercial.
they
Yeah.
went way more commercial and it worked for
Mhm.
them. And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that I was looking through on the two albums and stuff was like they're both, as far as I'm concerned, both records are total party records. They're
Yeah.
so much fun, both heavy, super hip hop influence, lots of freaking just it's just they're both fun. The one difference was that Limp Bizkit had faith on that one. And
Good
they
call.
saw a lot of freaking money and boom, from
That's the
that
song that broke
once.
them. Yeah.
It's the song that
100%.
broke them. And I'm telling you, if they didn't have faith on that album, I don't think that they would have went. They probably would have stayed the
No way.
same as where Head PE was or something like that. Which
Yeah.
was because I remember Counterfeit. It came out and I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be freaking something else. And then they just started dying off, like immediately. And
Mm,
then it was like, okay, let's see if Faith goes and boom, rocket
yeah.
fuel. And but then I'm not saying that they sold out by any means whatsoever, because Limp Bizkit is Limp Bizkit. But there's a definitive difference between $3 Bill Y'all and every other record they've done. And
Yeah.
and I just really think that they, commercially were like, we need to get in front of more people and stuff. And so and I think they went too far with it as well. When they started bringing in Method Man and stuff like that, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. I
Is
love
that In Together Now? Is that the
Yeah,
song?
and together now. Yeah, I love that
Yeah.
song. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love it. It's super fun. But that was when it was like, okay, you went from a metal band with hip hop influence. Now you are a hip hop guy who drags
With
his
a little
band
bit of
along
guitar
with you.
stuff.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I was like,
That drags your band along
drags
with
your
you.
band
Yeah.
along with you. And so so it was a little different, but
Hmm.
so again, kudos to Head PE though for all this time staying in their own lane, and
Hmm.
not trying to commercialize and just being like,
Right.
and I'm sure everybody wants to freaking have the Limp Bizkit money,
Right.
but the fact that they're just like, no, he's just gonna keep doing what he's doing, Jared's just
I
gonna keep doing
wonder.
doing his
I
thing.
wonder if Jive made a play for Limp Bizkit. or
I
who
don't
all these
know.
other labels were. Is it like, you know, for some of them who are in this bidding war, it's like, okay, is it Hed PE versus Limp Bizkit? You know what I mean?
I
Like
wonder, man.
there's like, you're definitely onto something. So I mean, there's got to be more there in terms of how that played out, because you're right. I mean, if you think about it, if you go all the way down to the musician level, it's like, look at your bass players,
Yep. Yep.
Sam, rest in peace, Mark,
Yep.
dude, like you have bass
I'm
driven
telling you, dude.
songs,
DJ
and like you got
Product, DJ
Tired of
Lethal.
Sleep. Yeah. Product versus Lethal. It's
I'm
like,
telling you.
you know, you got your crazy frontman,
Mhm.
you know. I mean, Limp Bizkit would certainly edge him out in the guitar arena.
Yep. Both their
Um,
lead guitarist names is Wes. Just
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, I don't recall the drummer for Hed PE on that record, but I mean, very, I don't want to call them similar styles, but it all kind of fit the
Right.
niche.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, man, they're definitely, man, I never put that together. Very similar.
Yeah.
Very
So
similar.
it does make you wonder, though, if there was like a race, you know.
Mm,
I don't think that
it's
I want,
possible.
it is possible. I don't necessarily know if the bands knew each other or whatever. Maybe they did. I don't know. But, you got to wonder. And we know, I mean, we've known back end side of the music industry for quite some time now and stuff. And there's a
Mm,
lot of crap like that that goes on where it's,
mhm.
again, just people stabbing each other in the back to claw up to the next level and this and that
Oh,
and da da da
God,
da
yeah.
da. And I could totally see something like this happening where it was
Mm,
like somebody, whether it's management or whatever, was like, I got this new band, we got the sound, da da da, da. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, I got, and then they split off and this and that, da da da. Next thing you
mm,
know, it's two labels fighting to get that sound out there quicker,
right.
you know.
When did Lethal come into the picture?
Mm,
Was that a label thing?
I think it was a label thing.
Because I always wondered how somebody like DJ Lethal from House of Pain,
Right.
already an established recording artist,
Yeah.
ends up with a brand new band out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Right. Yep.
Like, how does that happen? So, if that was a label suggestion slash introduction, perhaps there was oh, we've got this other band over here that we're aware of and
Yeah.
considering signing that sounds a lot like you, and they've got a crushingly good DJ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it
Man, now I'm going to
says,
obsess over this.
yeah, I'm
Thanks a
telling you,
lot.
dude, you're welcome. You're welcome. So looking up
Oh, man.
Lethal
Can we
here,
chat GPT this? Is that a
we
thing that can,
we should. Um,
can AI help us on that one?
that's
That's
right.
quite the rabbit hole, man.
I bet it could. So
That's quite the
according
rabbit hole.
to Wikipedia, it says on House of Pain's final tour, Limp Bizkit, an up and coming band from Jacksonville, was hired as a supporting act. So they
Mm,
were touring with House of Pain. So Lethal
did
and the
not know that.
band became friends, and later Limp Bizkit hired him to do some work on the recordings, eventually asking him if he wanted to join them. DJ Lethal accepted the offer, and the
Got it.
band became one of the most popular new metal groups during the late 90s and early 2000s, selling more than 40 million records worldwide.
Hmm.
So, yeah. So that's how they got in front of each other. So it probably wasn't a label thing,
Okay.
obviously. Um,
Okay.
but it doesn't say when he came on.
Right. It maybe the label pushed them to be like, hey, you need a DJ.
Yeah.
And
Could
then they're
be.
like, oh, what about Lethal? You know, I don't
Could
know.
be.
It's kind of pure speculation, but it's kind of fun to think about because, again, kind of what we were, talking about when we were talking about Slipknot on the
Yep.
last episode, it's like it's that rabbit hole. It's that little bit of mystique there,
Yes.
because I never did the math on this. So like I'm kind of
Okay.
tripped out
So
by it.
So I think Lethal was with the band even when $3 Bill came out because it says he officially joined Limp Bizkit in 1996.
Yeah, he was on the
So
record.
yeah, he's on
He
the
was on it.
record. So
Yeah.
I guess I didn't remember like from the
Hmm.
old videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's yeah in it to win it right from the gate. Yeah, so he literally went from House of Pain, went from 91 to 96 over to Biscuit from 96 to
Hmm.
present day. So
Interesting. Jared, if you're listening, let us know
that's right. Yes.
what
Because I,
happened.
I feel like there's something there. And maybe
I
we're
feel like there
making
is too.
something that,
I think we
it,
want something to be there
yes,
that badly that
it
we're like, oh,
it could be happenstance, but again, you and I have seen so much crap behind the scenes with this stuff that it's like
mm,
it does
yeah,
feel like something's there,
yeah.
you
It's
know.
it's too much of a coincidence,
Yep.
you know, to for there to not be some kind of connection
Correct.
wherever that is. And it
Yeah.
can be a pure industry connection. The bands
Yeah.
may not have ever known who each other was
I
until way
agree.
later,
Yep.
but at the labels, you know, a lot of things flying around in the mid 90s. So it's like, who do we want and how do we want it kind of
Right.
thing,
Correct. Yep.
but yeah, there's a lot of striking similarities.
I'm telling you, man.
That's going to keep me up tonight. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I'm telling you. That's just fun to think about.
Yeah, it is, I
Yep.
like that kind of stuff, but it's
Absolutely.
kind of the music business soap opera.
Okay. So, question for you.
Yeah.
Favorite song on the record?
Oh, Tired of Sleep by far.
Nice, dude. That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Just because, like, I think back to those subs, like
Yeah.
in the car.
Yep.
And okay, so this is also a 100% true story. So I would listen to that song so much in my car with my subs just cranked, right? It
Yeah.
rattled the license plate clean off the back of the car,
Yes. Yep. Yep.
like that's how crazy it was. And it's like, nowadays I wonder why my hearing's gone, you know? It's like, oh, outside of
Yep.
a pseudo career in music, like that's how we would listen to music. Like
Yep.
those albums were so bass driven,
Yeah.
that it you had
It
to
was a
listen to them with
it
subs.
was a part of the selling feature, and it was also for me, it was part of the creative process as well,
Yeah.
especially before Downshift, like all the stuff that I was putting out, I was like, we gotta have 808s, gotta have 808s, gotta
Yeah.
put it in here, put it in here,
Everybody,
stick it in here, you know,
everybody subs. We got to hit those subs.
gotta hit the subs exactly. So what was the car that you had those subs in that you remember?
It was a Chevy Cavalier.
Nice.
What year? 88,
Okay.
maybe.
So was it like a boxier?
uh
Yes, dude.
It looked like a mutant Camaro, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. So was it like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Z24 or
hmm
no? Just okay.
No. Yeah.
That's fun.
I went through like back then. Like I would buy just beater cars
Sure.
and run them to the
Everybody did.
ground, and then it's like, okay, this one's done. On to the next one.
Right. And it's so
So I think
funny.
I was like a car a year at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah. It's
So
funny not to go way off tangent or whatever, but I was just talking about this the other night about beater cars and stuff too, because I was
uh,
like, you see all these articles and stuff of people saying like, oh, kids nowadays they can't afford anything, they can't, they need a house, they can't afford it, and I get that. There's, times are tough right now,
mm,
financially speaking and everything,
yeah,
but I'm also just like, okay, a lot of these kids are expecting to buy a 2024 freaking $60,000 car to impress all their friends and stuff. Back in our day, it was if you made it to A and B, you were
you were
happy,
lucky.
you're
hmm
lucky, and all of your friends were like that. You might have one friend that was
hmm
like their parents were ranchers or something like that, just
Yeah,
whatever the case may be, and just had a ton of money. But everybody, it was just like you all just
because
kind of laughed at your own cars because they were all just crap.
they were so bad.
Yeah, but
hmm
you put your money into your system. That's where the money went
Right,
into, you
right,
know.
exactly.
Yep, that's what we all did, man. That
Yeah,
was
you had to have the aftermarket CD deck,
yep,
the subs, and then I mean you were going to need to
amplifier.
replace the amp, yeah,
Yep,
and then replace all the other speakers in the car because those were probably
correct. Got to put your
blown
three
out
ways in.
anyways.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
they're
because
probably
you got
blown
to
out.
blow those puppies out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like I remember like when I bought that car, I think I paid like $1,200 for it. It was nothing,
Yeah,
and it still had the factory stereo in it, and it's
sure,
like, and so for me, who's not, I'm not good at car stuff, whatever that is,
sure.
whether it's actually fixing it or putting in a CD deck, for example. I have no idea how to do any of that. I still don't. So anytime I wanted to have that stuff done, I would have to take it to Best Buy to
Oh,
have them
really?
actually install it all.
Yeah,
Um, and that came with a pretty hefty price tag,
sure. Yep.
because they replace all the wires and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And, so it was like a week and a half long process. And I'm like, I need my car back, But then when I got it, I was like, yeah, what's
Here
up?
we go. That's worth it. Yeah.
Hed PE going in the CD deck right now,
Nice, dude.
you
That's
know?
fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I always put all my own stereo stuff in. I was
Yeah,
pretty
learning how
lucky.
to
My
do it.
brother, my older brother, I wouldn't say he's definitely never went to school for it. He's never been a full on mechanic, but he's like one of those weekend mechanics is what I would say,
Sure.
where it's just like just always working on cars and stuff like that.
Mm,
I do too. I work on cars quite a bit, but nothing like him. So he was almost 4 years older than me and stuff. So he was always putting his own stereos in and everything. So he
mm,
taught me how to do it like right when I
nice.
think I was like 15, I think when I put him in my first system into my 1981 Ford Escort,
There you
peach
go.
colored with white walls, my
There you go.
Sparko-matic stereo and EQ system. But
Nice.
yeah, man, that's actually, here we go. That's actually what got me hooked on Ace of Base. So, okay,
Okay, that makes sense now.
so here, I'm gonna tell you. So, because I know I bring up Ace of Base quite a bit, like just as friends, you've probably heard me
Yeah.
talk about Ace of Base probably way too many times. But anyways, I don't think I've ever explained how I got into Ace of Base because it was purely by accident. So we're talking about subs. All right. So here's the deal. I was at Alco one day. If you remember Alco's shopping centers,
Mm,
I was at Alco and I was always trying to find tapes of something, and that's actually how I stumbled into Pantera. I was looking for something heavy, and I was like, what's that band? Is it Slayer? What's that band? I had never bought a Slayer record before. So I was looking for Slayer or something like that, and I saw Pantera. I'm like, maybe it was Pantera. Maybe that's the band I was thinking of. So I bought Vulgar Display of Power, and that's how I got into Pantera. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are awesome. But anyways, so I was at Alco one day. I was looking for another tape or whatever. And I just put the subsystem in my car. And I was like, okay, I need to get something bassy because my brother had all these like tapes and stuff of like Bass Evolution
mm.
2000 or something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
I remember
Remember
that
all
stuff.
those
Yeah.
stupid things?
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I need something like that. And then I saw this tape. It said Ace of Base. I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. And I'll go get that. And then like I put it in. It was like these chicks singing. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh man, I screwed up. Or did I? Wait a minute. This is kind of cool. This is good. What the hell? And dude, I didn't take that tape out for like 6 months.
Wow.
But I tell you what, though, it is definitely like a bass driven freaking album because
Yeah.
it bumps. But anyways, that's how I
You
got
know,
into Ace of Base.
did not
So
know that. That's
that's
fun.
right. So
You know what?
16-year-old Jeff bumping in a 1981 Ford Escort,
Taste of base.
Ace of Base, and 12 Inches of Snow. Those were my
Mm-mm.
two albums of choice.
Yeah. You know what else hit subs hard?
So,
Great Malenko.
oh my gosh, dude.
That's why we all got into Insane Clown Posse because we
Amen,
all had the
brother.
subs in our cars, and you know, it's like, oh, these clown guys just got dropped from Disney because it's too weird, and like,
That's right.
I'm sold.
I'm so I tell you what though, their music is crisp. Yeah, it sounds good in a freaking sound system for sure.
Oh God, yeah, that
But
and what was the one before it? The Riddlebox.
Riddlebox, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Malenko
probably
and Riddlebox.
my favorite of
Those are
theirs.
fun.
I'm
So
definitely
yeah,
not one of those juggalos, but I get it. But yeah, I've listened to probably 90% of their discography,
yeah.
and I had a
I
whole
lost
bunch of
him
them.
after Malenko, but
Yeah,
those two
that
records, yeah, that was a big part of my childhood.
yes, I hear you. Yeah, Jekyll Brothers was really good. That's when I started kind of tapering off. That was after
Yeah.
Jekyll Brothers. So, which was, I think that was actually after Malenko. I can't remember. What are we doing?
Yeah, it was after Malenko. It was Toy Box and then Malenko, and then after that, I lost
Yeah,
it. But
that was fun
you
stuff.
know,
But again, speaking of mystery stuff, I mean, that's what was so fun about ICP was it was just like the
mm,
whole freaking what do they
you
call
didn't know what they
those?
look like.
You didn't know what they looked like. It was all this big, the riddle box and all this other stuff. And
Mm,
then they had the Joker's cards, and it was like
mm.
that was so well done.
Dreadlocks.
Yeah, but that was so well done by those guys of like having this whole persona and shtick behind
Mm,
everything and this lore and the story of everything going on and the Shangri-La and all this other
mm,
stuff. And I think that's kind of unfortunately, that's kind of how it died out for him and stuff is that they drug this whole thing out so long and so many people gathered onto it. And then it was like, how do we end this thing? And they're like, okay.
right.
So and I think that was the album, The Wraith, I think was their sixth Joker's card. And it was like, okay, finally, here it is. And it
Yeah,
was
I
like, the whole
had
thing
no
was
idea.
about God. It was like, people were like, wait, what? We're talking about killing people for the past 20 years And this whole thing all the time was basically a big message to believe in God and stuff like that. And it's just like everybody was like, F this is stupid. But then it was just like, okay, whatever. We're still having fun with it. So
I do follow Shaggy on social media,
they're fun, man. They're
and he's got a podcast that's actually a it's a ride.
is it
It's worth
dude,
checking out.
I can listen to him talk forever, man.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
He is
And
hilarious.
you know what started popping up on my Instagram was Violent J started doing reels with his girlfriend with no makeup on.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I didn't realize he was that tattooed on his face.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's like,
he's basically
wow,
the
bud.
first jelly, what's his name? Jelly Roll or whatever. He's
Jelly
like the
roll.
yeah, he's like the first.
You know,
But
but I bring up ICP to say all of that stuff, but also there's kind of a connection because they were and I apologize, I don't necessarily remember the exact connection, but they were kind of in talks with Suburban Noise or
oh yeah.
Cottonmouth Kings about
Yep, Cottonmouth
something here
Kings.
and
Yep,
there, and Hed PE spent a lot of time on Suburban Noise, so they were kind of
sure.
in that orbit.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah,
but
because where's Hed PE
anyway,
from? Aren't they from
California,
okay, California, okay.
Southern
Yeah.
California.
I wonder where
Huntington
Cottonmouth Kings are
Beach, if I
from.
remember correctly. They're all from Southern California because,
Okay.
um, oh man, this is going to test my Codmouth King knowledge, which is minimal to begin with.
Yeah.
Daddy X. So Daddy X was in a band called the Humble Gods.
Mm,
That used to, I mean, it was kind of punkish kind of stuff, but they
yeah.
would tour with new metal bands. And I remember seeing them once. Do not remember who they opened for. But I remember seeing them going, oh, okay,
Yeah.
kind of a crazy thing. Um, and then they got off tour and he went back and saw these two other dudes rapping and he's like, yeah, I'm going to manage them. Nope, I'm going to join it and we're going to create this thing. And that was the Cottonmouth Kings, right?
Gotcha.
That's how that whole thing started. So, um, so yeah, it's all interconnected, man.
Yeah, I just knew that they were really like they were trying really hard to get on with ICP. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
I think they were talking were they talking about merging the labels or they were talking about trying to get on Psychopathic? I don't
correct.
remember.
That's what I remember. I'm pretty certain that's what it was. They're trying to get on Psychopathic, but I think they even like they've written like one or two songs where they even like mention ICP about, like
Mm.
how they're like whatever. It
There's whole videos on YouTube about it. I started to watch
yeah,
one. That's the only reason I know anything about it.
gotcha.
And I'm like, wait, Daddy X was the singer for the Humble Gods? What the hell? So
Had no idea. I'll have to check that
yeah,
out. That's kind of
yeah. I
fun.
mean, they did a whole download on it
Yeah,
on a show on Juggalo TV or something. I don't know.
sure. And that's probably something we could do at some point too, is because like you could arguably say that at least being adjacent, ICP has new metal elements, especially in
Sure.
certain songs. And could you call them a new metal band? Probably not. I think they're a little bit too hip hop.
Mm,
But I do know there was a time there where like Violent J, especially, he was really trying to make himself known for his screaming abilities and stuff. And he's got a wicked good voice. And
mm,
yeah, he's got a cool scream and everything. But yeah, I think they were trying to meld into the new metal genre a little bit at that time. And even with like on the Jekyll Brothers, there's a couple songs that are very heavily,
mm,
guitar driven and stuff like that, and real freaking heavy songs. And so good for
yeah.
them. But either way, man, I wasn't expecting to go down an ICP path
I
tonight, but
wasn't
here we
either.
are. Here
Yeah.
we
Well,
are. But
I even thought about wearing my Malenko t-shirt today.
oh, see, it was destiny. That's what
Yeah.
it
Well, I
was.
didn't,
I
but
didn't. Yeah. What do
I
you
went
got
with
on?
Trent, but
Oh, Trent. Yeah.
the Nine Inch Nails. Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
So
but
favorite
yeah,
song for you though was Tired
Tired
to
of Sleep.
Sleep. So
Yeah.
my favorite song is not Tired to Sleep. I love that song, especially with the subs. My favorite song is Darky.
Yeah.
I
That's a good one.
frickin' love that song, dude. I will never
Mhm.
forget the first time I heard that song. And this is the
That's
Where
a
Does
good
It
one
Take
too.
You element.
Mm,
So Darky, first time I heard this, my brother of all people, my older brother, he that I was just talking about earlier. So he was into all sorts of different things or whatever, musically and whatever, but we kind of had our own separate kind of things or whatever, even though we were in a new metal band for a number of years together. But
mm,
either which way, you probably don't. I think you have a sister, right? You don't have any brothers,
I have
right?
two. Yeah, two
You have two
sisters.
sisters. Okay. So in our household, I had two brothers. I was a middle child, and we hated each other. And so like when we were growing up, we were like beating the crap out of each other, busting up furniture, all sorts of stuff, kind of thing. We love each other now. We're good, but
Yeah.
either which way, growing up, it was kind of like that. And so I would have never been caught dead like liking something like my brother liked or whatever. And but I was like, I don't know what it was, but either which way, I remember he was talking about Hed PE, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I know them, and stuff. And he was like, oh, they're pretty good. You got to check them out sometime. And didn't even think about it. Like a year goes by or something like that. And this was like we're more grown up now and everything. But I just always thought that my brother's taste in music was way different than mine. Mine was cooler, and whatever. He was talking about Hed PE all the time, and I was like, I'll check them out. I'll check them out. I'm like, whatever. They probably suck. Anyways, so one day we're driving along and we start freaking listening to Hed PE. He's got it in his car, and it was Darky on, and he's freaking rapping to it, and I'm like, first off, this song is wicked good. Second off, where the hell is this coming from?
What are you doing?
I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a dork. He's not. He's super cool. I love my brother to death, but I just couldn't believe that he was like rapping to it. He's like, bro, I told you, man, hippies, man, they're freaking killing it. I'll never forget that freaking day because his sound system in his car, oh my gosh, that was one
Yeah.
thing I could never one up my brother on. His sound systems were always like kick ass, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's what it was like tired to sleep. I think he was showing me the bass on it, and I was like,
Hmm.
good, like I could feel it in my chest. It was killing me.
Yep.
Could get my breath, and then like it went over the darky, and he started rapping with it. And I was like, no freaking way. So kudos to my brother. But I just always loved that song. Darky is so good.
It's a good one.
My favorite. My
It's a
favorite.
good one. And as we were talking about it, I just remembered I have um I have their autograph on the back of one of our flyers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way.
I'll have to put it up on the YouTube video, but yeah. So
That's
like
cool.
I met Products on there, Jared's on there. Don't remember who else. But yeah, it's on the back of I think one of our CD release flyers.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll have to scan it
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
put it up.
That's fun.
Or I'll just put it up for the entire episode because it's cool.
There you go. Well, hey, folks, on social media though, like we want to hear from you. We want to hear like what's your, where does this moment take you? Where does this song take you? And because like we like to share and everything, but we like to hear from other people too. So whether it's YouTubes or Facebooks or whatever else and stuff, share. Tell us what your favorite song is and where this takes you. So because Hed
Totally.
PE's got a lot of songs
Yep,
and they know how to do it.
definitely.
Good stuff. But all right, brother.
Cool, man.
I think
Awesome.
we can put a pin in it. So
Yeah, I think we've gone down the Hed PE rabbit hole.
that's right. That's right. I think the only thing we didn't talk about was their name. And I
Hed
love
Planet Earth.
Yep, I love Hed PE, but like it's not even Hed Planet Earth. It's like something else.
Planetary Evolution.
Yeah, it's like, hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know why I bring this. Higher Education Planet Earth Planetary Evolution. That's what Hed PE stands for. Higher Education Planet Earth Planetary Evolution.
There you go.
That is, I'm really high. And
Yeah.
we came up with this
Well,
name, but no.
You don't name your secret song Tits, Clits, and Bong Hits for nothing.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. Nah, good for them, man. I love Hed PE. So,
I do too.
yep.
I love this record.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
all
cool,
right, dude.
guys. Thanks for going on the journey with us.
That's right. Until next time.
Oh, wait, that's your line.
What's that? That's right. Good journey.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. We'll see you.
Okay, bye.